right, so, oh, I'm sorry, my chair's uncomfortable. Okay, day 73 of kind of going back through and analyzing what I wrote in my journal. And the quote for today is, I hope you can see it. I didn't get there by wishing for it or hoping for it, but by working for it. Do you wish for more than you work for? What are you hoping for in your heart that you have not begun work for yet? Okay, this should be an interesting one for me, I think. But yeah, if you're following along, just pause the video and think about what your reply would be to this. And I will tell you what I wrote. So, do you wish for more than you work for? So I said, I don't think so. I feel like one of my biggest problems is not knowing what to wish for. I have a problem committing to things. I've known this for a long time. I think because of that, I have trouble setting long-term goals. Or, I don't know. There have been times that I've wanted to do things, like I would daydream about dancing or singing or playing an instrument. But whenever I've tried each of those things, they didn't give me the feeling. I think I mentioned this before in another video. They didn't give me the feeling from them that I expected. Like when I watch people dance and sing, I don't know, I just imagine it feeling a certain way for them. But when I try it, the feeling is so far off from what I expected that I don't feel like I'd ever truly enjoy it. At one point, I was able to do some basic gymnastics moves that some people found impressive. But again, the feeling of how it looked didn't mesh with what it felt like doing it. So yeah, this is from a long time ago, I was little. But when I was in I don't even remember how many years, but I was very young. My mom put me and my sister in gymnastics, and by third grade, like I said, I was really young. So by third grade, I had worked up to this point where I could do, I could do the basic, I could do cartwheels and things like that. But then I'd gotten to where I could do a front handspring. And, one day out on the playground, I was doing it, and there was some kids, and they were like, oh, do it again, do it again. And I was just thinking, this doesn't feel like it looks very cool, but everybody's acting like this is something that is cool. They want me to keep doing it. But it just didn't feel like it. It just felt uncomfortable and just not like it looked good. And I wasn't getting a good feeling from doing the gymnastics. I didn't feel any sense of accomplishment. It didn't feel you see these gymnasts doing this stuff, and I don't know, maybe it's just me. I just get the sense that it feels a certain way to do that. And that was the same thing. I don't know if I was ever just into music, or if it was something that was kind of pushed on. I think maybe my mom had wanted to do a lot of things when she was younger, and maybe she had the same experience. She tried some things and just never really stuck to them. But I think she also wanted us to try certain things. And so she put us in random, kind of random things. I didn't really know any of my other friends that were in gymnastics, nobody from my school, but she put me and my sister in gymnastics. She also had me doing pageants at a young age, but she wasn't the pageant mom by any means. But I think maybe there was just a few things that she had wanted to do when she was a kid but didn't do, and so she wanted us to do that. I've never talked to her about this, so I don't know. I was too young to know what was going on when she was putting me in pageants. I was in a pageant in kindergarten, and I just remember feeling really awkward, and I didn't really know what was going on. I mean, I was young or whatever. But yeah, and then there was piano lessons, and I played in band, and it's it just wasn't I wanted to be good. I would hear someone play the piano, and I would want to be a good piano player, but I just was not. I wasn't bad, but I wasn't good. And I didn't get, when sometimes you hear someone playing the piano and you're like, oh wow, that's impressive. And I got to the point where it was someone who didn't play music could hear it and be like, oh wow, you know, you can play the piano. But it like, it didn't feel like anything to me. There was like nothing behind it. So I don't know if I'm explaining that right, but I did the same thing with dance. Like, I loved watching dancers and thought it looked so cool. And then I took dance class and it just felt really awkward. And I'm like, to me, when I see them dance, it looks like they're enjoying it so much and they're just like, you know, whatever. But then when I try to dance, even if I'm doing the moves, I didn't get enjoyment out of it. So like, I don't understand like, you know, like why I see that and think it's going to feel a certain way and then I do it. And a part of me is like, well, maybe I just didn't stick with these things long enough. Well, no, I played piano for like 8 years. And I stuck with most things for at least a year. You know, it wasn't just I went to one class and gave up. But yeah, there's like another thing. I'm gonna try this again and just see if this one is one that, like, if I get better at it, that I will stick to it. I know this is gonna sound weird, but, and my roommate thinks that it's weird that I keep like bringing this up, that I want to do this, and it's pole dancing. Well, I guess bodybuilding is one of them too. Like, it's my sister doesn't understand why, and my roommate to some extent like doesn't understand why I want to compete, because he doesn't go to the gym to compete. He just goes because he enjoys going to the gym. And I'm getting to the point where I do enjoy going to the gym now, but like, I don't know, like I remember when I was young, my mom, I don't know why I remember this, it's a random memory, but I remember her talking about someone who was like a female bodybuilder. And to me, like in this area where I live, especially like back in the 90s, like that was something that was kind of unheard of, like kind of something that was like, wow, like there's a girl that's doing bodybuilding. Like, I don't even know any bodybuilders. I've never been to a gym. And it just seemed like crazy to me. And I don't know, I think something about that kind of stuck with me. Like, and then, you know, as I got older and we had like social media and we had the internet, and you could see like these women who were bodybuilders, and I saw, you know, especially when it got to like when they introduced the bikini competition, to where it wasn't just you know, kind of like the more masculine type of female bodybuilding. You know, that just like, there was a girl that I went to high school with, and she posted, you know, her competition photos on Facebook several years ago, and I just always thought, wow, that's so impressive. And she was also vegan, and so I was getting into veganism, and I just thought, like, how great would it be if I could compete as a bodybuilder, as a vegan, you know, to kind of show people that you don't, you know, you can build muscle without, you know, having to eat meat. And so I think that was kind of the initial, like, I knew this girl that had done it. I thought she looked beautiful, like in her stage photos, and I don't know, it just kind of inspired me to want to do it. And it was something I've been thinking about for several years. And then I met my roommate who like works out at the gym, even though he doesn't compete. Like, that kind of gave me an in to have someone who knows how to work out, who could kind of help me get into that whole lifestyle or whatever. And so now it just seems like it's coming together. But another thing I want to try is pole dancing. I had tried taking some pole classes before the pandemic, and I remember like the first class I went to, I really enjoyed it. It was like, the girl was a really good teacher, and she didn't just jump into these really hard moves. And like right away, just kind of like in the intro class, like I did a couple of things that did have that good feeling to me. I was like, wow, you know, I did this. And since then I quit going to that studio, because it was just kind of like, I liked the girl, but she wasn't like the most organized in like planning like her classes. And like, I would come to show up for classes and they would be canceled, and, you know, wouldn't tell me. So, you know, there was just kind of some issues with that. And then I went to this other one and the teacher wasn't as good, so I didn't, you know, feel like I knew what I was doing as well. And anyway, I have my own pole, and I just, you know, didn't try it. But now I feel like I always, like, my grip strength was one thing that wasn't, that kind of kept me from doing that. But now that I've been working out more, I'm hoping that multiple things will make the pole easier for me. Like, I feel like my grip strength is a lot better. I'll hopefully be lighter, so, you know, there won't be as much weight to be holding up. I've been practicing walking in my heels, so, like, sometimes some of the things feel different if you're wearing heels. And so, I don't know, I just want to give it a try. I have a pole for my house. I ordered it off of Amazon, and it works really well. I just don't have it installed right now, but at some point I do want to get it installed and give it a try again and just see how it goes, because it's another one of those things where I think it looks really cool and I think it looks beautiful, and I just want to try it. So anyway, so I guess the bodybuilding and pole dancing will be a couple of things that I may try in the future. And I feel like I've begun work for them. So, and then also, I don't want to ramble. I've been rambling lately, but I always do. But yeah, I have a problem committing to things, and I've mentioned this before. I'm, you know, coming around to believe that I have ADHD, and that's why I'm scared to commit to things, because I will be so into something and then jump ship from it. And so I've done a lot of work on a lot of different little things, but then it just gets left. And then sometimes I'll come back to them, and then sometimes I don't. So I guess I'm just so afraid that, like, I'll put work into something and then be unhappy with it and just drop it. And I don't want to do that. And so now I'm doing this, like, shred program, this 12-week shred program, and I'm going to be so proud of myself if I make it to the end and it's looking and feeling like I'm going to make it to the end. You know, it's something I committed to and I want to do it. And so, yeah, I hope I do that. And then hopefully that'll be like a jumping off point for me actually competing in bodybuilding and actually doing a competition. And then, you know, maybe me starting this website that I've been wanting to start, and, you know, all these other things. So, well, and even these journals, like, I'm not going to lie, there's been times that I've wanted to just, like, stop and just be like, why am I doing this? And, you know, and sometimes I feel like, well, I've put too much of myself out there, and, you know, but I don't know, like, I guess with the journal thing, it's a couple of things. Like, I just want to commit to something and finish it. And, you know, I've also had thoughts to have a YouTube channel for a while. And part of the reason is because I've seen other people, I've gained a lot from watching other people on YouTube, people that, you know, had different thoughts and views from, like, most of the people that live around here. And so I don't know, like, maybe through some of this, I'll expose some people to different thoughts or views that they hadn't thought of or they've not been exposed to, or I don't know, maybe people can just relate to me. But anyway, I'm going to finish it out. I hope I will finish it out. Right now, I think I will finish it out. I'm already on day 73, almost almost 2/5 of the way there. But yeah, I don't know. This will be one thing I finish: the shred, the bodybuilding, my PhD. So, yeah, I try not to wish more than I work for. So I'm gonna work for all of these things instead of, you know, giving up on them. So we'll see how it goes. But anyway, I'm gonna cut it off there, and I'll be back tomorrow with day 74.